Let's sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's our last refrain. Forever young, ever strong, ever brave. Memories like this never end. No, they don't fade away. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on. And I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. Here's to the ones who let shine through the rain, the ones who stood for something more. We won't forget your names. The tide is high, say goodbye, we're setting sail, and all those midnight secrets told, we'll take them to the grave. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on. And I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on. And I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're all having fun. I hope you all had a great game week, and let's get the stream started, my friends. Well, what a disaster of a game week it was, to be honest with you. Was crazy. This season, in general has been very, very crazy, but this game week, my word. But in chat, I'm seeing some crazy scores. 68, 64. For this game week, it's pure gold, guys. Congratulations to all who did so well. So I welcome you all to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. And apologies that this aftermath stream is supposed to happen right after the last game of the game week, but it was too late for me. So here I am, guys. Let's get the stream started. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Ashley says Zaha, Son, Brentford. Okay, that is supposed to mean Bamford, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so you got Zaha, Son, and Bamford. This game week it was amazing. Very few people would have had that combination, my friend. So well done to you. Well done. Hey Andre, good evening. Welcome to the live stream. So fellas, if you look at my team, it wasn't a bad game week per se, but the hit that I took on the live stream didn't go too well because for some reason Mourinho ended up started Ben Davis, and he benched Reguilon, and I transferred out Ben Davis for a hit. So but I got in Roman Size who got 7 points, so no problems there. But then I transferred out Ramsdale for Martinez. That didn't go too well. I mean, Aston Villa looked really, really rocking, Leeds totally battered them. I mean, nobody expected a Bamford hat-trick in that game, let alone a single goal from Bamford. But that hat-trick was really too much. Nick says, James Rodriguez to Pulisic this game week. What do you reckon, Viz? No, I think if you have James Rodriguez, I think I would keep him. I would not transfer out James Rodriguez. The next 5 fixtures, I think only one of them is tough, and all the others are pretty good. So I would keep James Rodriguez, my friend. Hey FPL Penguin, welcome to the live stream. He says, I'm giving Trent one more week, saving my transfer this week. I guess that's a good ploy. To be honest with you, Liverpool defense is really, really getting injured left, right and centered. I mean, Van Dijk got injured, and Matip was already injured, Tsimikas was injured, and now Fabinho got substituted at around 30 minutes with a hamstring injury. I guess they'll have to play that kid Reece Williams until and unless Joel Matip is fit again. So Andrew says Pulisic is not playing now, so I am expecting he will play in the Premier League. To be honest with you, I mean, I haven't seen enough from Pulisic to kind of warrant him playing. I know why you want to transfer him in. I know the real reason is because you think he scored a hat-trick last year away to Burnley and he'll do that again this time, but that's not how things work. Not in this season, guys. Come on, this season is so different from all the other seasons of FPL that we've had. So just because he had a hat-trick there last season doesn't mean he's going to do it again. Pulisic has not even been starting too many games. He's been injured. He's not back to full fitness or full sharpness, you can say. So in my opinion, I'd wait on that transfer. RX says De Bruyne or Son for captain this week. But to be honest, this week we have lots of good captaincy options because many teams have home games, and I think lots of good options can prop up. Obviously, I mean, Kane is the standout captaincy option because they're playing against Brighton. Hang on, let me switch the view so we can have a look. Yeah. So you see, this game week, Kane has a fixture against Brighton at home. I think he's a fantastic captaincy option along with Son if you want, because Brighton plays a high line, and it could be a decent. It could be a goal fest against Brighton the way they are playing, because they are not a team who likes to sit back and defend. They want to attack. They want to play football, right? And that suits Spurs counter-attacking so well. I mean, the reason they didn't do well against Burnley, it was because Burnley was playing with an absolutely low defensive block. I mean, there was no space between their keeper and their central defenders. So where was Son supposed to run into? And the goal that he got, he was pretty lucky, to be honest with you. I mean, who would have expected Son to score a header off a corner or a second header off a corner? It was lucky, guys. So, but against Brighton, it could be different. So Son, good captaincy option, definitely. Kane, I think is one of the best. Salah, Mane, very good captaincy options for this game week. Who else? I guess other than that, you can. Who does United play? Let me have a look. United plays against Arsenal, so I wouldn't go there. Neither Everton. I wouldn't go towards Everton. Wolves, of course not. Manchester City against Sheffield. I think Raheem Sterling can be a good captaincy option, guys. But the way Sheffield played against Liverpool, I wouldn't captain a City player. But if you have Sterling, I think he can be a good pick for you anyway, right? Chelsea against Burnley, no captaincy options for me there. Maybe somebody would captain Werner, but not for me. In this game, I mean, the way West Ham is playing, I would be find it very difficult to captain Salah in it. But Salah and Mane are definitely good captaincy options, even if it is against West Ham. But at home, I think Liverpool is going to win, even though I think they are going to concede to West Ham the way they're playing. Aston Villa, maybe if you want to. Southampton, I mean, Danny Ings is always kind of safe kind of pick to get one goal for you, just like Jimenez, but not for me. Not for me in this game week. This game, I wouldn't captain anybody. In this game, if you want, you can captain Bruno Fernandes, but The way Arsenal or the way we are playing at this moment, I think we are playing too defensively. I don't think we are going to concede too many. So not in this game for me. This game is the ideal game for me for captaincy. Sorry I'm talking too much about captaincy, guys, but I thought let's address this issue once and for all, because I know there's going to be so many questions about captaincy. So I'm sorry if I'm not reading your comments. I'm just talking about captaincy here. So I think this is the ideal game for captaincy in my opinion. Although Brighton haven't conceded too many shots on goal, but the amount of shots and the amount of goals they concede, I mean the amount of shots they concede, out of that how many shots get converted to goals, that ratio is pretty high. So not a problem here. So this is a game in which I could captain Kane or Son easily, and I think this game, I mean, if somebody wants to take a punt, somebody like Ademola Lookman, Mitrovic, but I wouldn't go close to this game, to be honest with you. Leeds versus Leicester, if Vardy is fit to play, I think against Leeds, Vardy can be a really, really good option. Leeds play a high pressing, high line and a high pressing game, and I think Vardy is suitable for captaincy in this fixture as well. Alright guys, I'm done with my talking about captaincy. Let me come back to the chat and read your comments. Alrighty. So Andre says Kane or Son for captain. That's my conundrum. That's not an easy answer, my friend. To be honest with you, if you ask me, I'd go with Kane. This is not my final team by any stretch of the imagination. This is just from last week, right? But I still feel more comfortable captaining Kane than I do Son. It's just a force of habit, kind of. James Brown says, should I get Ruben Diaz from City and Sterling? To be honest with you, I wouldn't get Ruben Diaz. The reason why I wouldn't get Ruben Diaz is because he doesn't offer anything in an attacking sense. And for me, I like my defenders to be able to attack and at least have a potential to get attacking points. Like Roman Saiz, right? Roman Saiz is a very good example of the kind of defender I like to get. You know, Alexander Arnold, maybe even Luke Ayling can attack and get some points, right? Walker Peters as well. The only defender in my team who can't get any points attacking wise, or I don't expect him to at least, is Charlie Taylor. But yeah, so in my opinion, not Ruben Diaz. Sterling is good, of course. Rahul says what to do with Podence. Have 7.5 million for a replacement. Could stretch to 8.59 with a hit. Other midfielders that I own are Salah, Son and Foden. To be honest with you, Rahul, if you can, I would get James Rodriguez, because the next 5 fixtures look really good for Everton. And you know, although they did lose a game, and nobody expected them to lose that game, but I feel that James Rodriguez is going to come good. So in my opinion, if you can replace Podence for James, although it's not the most pressing issue, but I know how frustrating owning Podence can be, since I have Podence as well, and I watch him every game week, performing well, doing well, making runs, getting chances, and getting subbed off at 65 minutes. It is so frustrating to be a Podence owner at this moment in time, but yeah, if you want to get rid of him, James would be my pick. Raja says, do you think Kilman will lose place to Markal? Raja, it's very hard to say, to be honest with you, my friend, because I think Kilman has been playing really well, and then he's also had his contract extension. So I mean, I don't really see any reason why Kilman would lose his place, in my opinion. Mike says, is it worth changing Mope plus Click plus Rodriguez to Bamford, Grealish plus Zaha? In my opinion, I don't think so, my friend. I think Click and Rodriguez are good options. Maybe if you want to change Neil Mope, because I mean, I never liked Mope as an asset. The reason is he's not an intelligent footballer. He's a really good footballer, right? Don't get me wrong, but he makes really wrong decisions at the wrong moments. When he's supposed to pass for an assist, he shoots. When he's supposed to shoot, he makes a weird pass. So he's frustrating to own in FPL, and these kinds of players I always tend to stay away from. So I would keep James Rodriguez and I'd keep Click, but if you want, I would change Mope only. Farik says, what are you going to do about Taylor? Find a replacement or keep him? No, Farik, I'm going to keep him at least until my wildcard, and then maybe I'll look for a replacement on my wildcard, right? Audu says, hi, who are the best defenders under 6 million at the moment? To be honest with you, Audu, Wolves' defensive assets look good at this moment, and even West Ham, to be honest, from game week 8, their fixtures are turning so massively. I mean, I would consider somebody like Cresswell, Masuaku, even Balbuena. Why not? I think they're doing pretty well, and will do pretty well. Other than that, I just don't feel that it is the right time to invest in defenders. I mean, uh, at this moment in time, the teams are conceding so many goals, and I wouldn't invest in defense at this moment in time. Joe Hill says, should I do Jimenez, Salah, Saiz, or Kane, Son, Mings? For the next two fixtures, Kane, Son, and why would you go for Tyrone Mings, my friend? I think it's better to go for Konsa. I think they both offer a decent goal threat, and you save a lot of money if you go with Konsa. So Kane, Son, and Konsa could be a decent pick. By the way, guys, if you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and do like the video. I would really appreciate that. So in my opinion, guys, this game week, the upcoming game week 7, I think a lot of teams have kind of 50-50 fixtures, which can go either way, right? The game like Manchester United versus Arsenal can go either way, and there's lots of fixtures that can go both ways, right? So we have to be careful in kind of selecting our teams. For example, if you talk about this game, right, Fulham versus West Brom, for all those people who own Mitrovic, this could be a good game, right? Mitrovic could score. But other than that, I mean, for example, let's say Aston Villa versus Southampton. It's a 50-50 game. It's very difficult to call that game. Similarly, Wolves versus Crystal Palace, although we expect Wolves to win that game, but the way Crystal Palace are playing and the way Wolves are playing, I wouldn't be sure about that. So many 50-50 games. Burnley versus Chelsea, again, you expect Chelsea to win, but Spurs, who are in better form than Chelsea, they barely managed to win against Burnley, so you can't call that game as well. So it looks like a good game week, guys, but to be honest with you, it's a tricky one. And in my opinion, it's going to be a high-scoring game week for FPL, hopefully. Dravendra says, I am a Bale owner. I think I might keep him, but any thought? To be honest with you, I think I wouldn't keep Gareth Bale, my friend. I know he's going to eventually start in the Premier League, and he's going to get some points when he starts. But investing so much money in a player who doesn't start regularly for Spurs, I mean, for the same money, you could get somebody like Rashford. Invest some more, you could get somebody like Bruno Fernandes. So in my opinion, I would move him on. Mike says, I have Salah, Sterling, Fernandes, and Kane. Who do you suggest I captain? So many options. Having too many options is a problem as well, isn't it, Mike? But that's a good problem to have, my friend. I would love to have that kind of a problem. In my opinion, I think out of these, I'd rank them by the order. Number 1, I'd go with Kane. Number 2, I'd go with Salah. Number 3, Sterling. Even number 2, I could go with number 2, Sterling, and number 3, Salah, because I think West Ham is in better form at this moment. But yeah, Kane, Sterling, Salah, and Bruno Fernandes. Because with Bruno, you're never sure. But he's consistent with his returns, so definitely a captaincy option, definitely. What to do with double Liverpool defense? I would get rid of one of the defenders, Brian. I think double Liverpool defense with that Adrian in goal is just not going to work, right? But now Alisson is back, but they don't have any central defenders. If Joel Matip is back, then possibly Joe Gomez and Joel Matip can hold the fort with Alisson back, but I still feel that, this season, the value lies in the forwards, not in the defenders. I think get rid of one defender, get somebody cheap, 4.5 million. There's so many options. Tariq Lamptey, you can go with Luke Ayling, Dallas, you can go with somebody like Kilman, who's starting at this moment, and invest somewhere else, in my opinion. What's your planning this week? Who are you going to transfer out? Raja, to be honest with you, I think my team looks good for this week. Let's have a look at my team, right? See, Martinez looks fine. Alexander-Arnold is fine. Saiz, Ayling has a difficult match, but I could possibly play Kyle Walker-Peters if I wanted to, but I'll just let Ayling be in there. Podence, decent game. Son, Salah, Havertz, not so sure about that. So if I transfer anybody out, it could be Havertz to somebody like James Rodriguez. But I don't think I have any pressing problems in my team because I made the transfer last week because I knew I didn't have good defenders. I transferred out Davis for Saiz, and now for next game week, this hit is looking beautiful, right? I got Martinez and I got Saiz, and both have got good home fixtures. So the transfers that I made last week were actually with a view on the next game week as well. So that's how you should always make your transfers, guys. You always should have an eye on the next game week, right? Ned says, what to do with Aubameyang? Keep until his price goes up again or sell? Ned, to be honest with you, Aubameyang, is playing in an Arsenal team who have no creativity, who basically just pass sideways. I mean, I'm an Arsenal fan. It was so difficult to watch that game against Leicester. I mean, I don't even remember how many times Gabriel passed to Mustafi and Mustafi passed to Gabriel in that game. That was the only thing that was going on in that game. And, Aubameyang doesn't have a sniff of a goal, and he's not even playing at centre forward. So definitely do not get stuck on Aubameyang. Get rid of him. Even if he bangs 2 goals next week, I still feel it's worth getting rid of Aubameyang unless Arsenal start playing attacking football. I think get rid. Should I keep Sterling or switch to Son? I think Sterling is a good option, my friend, but in my opinion, if you don't have Son, I think you should kind of get Son in your team, not essentially for Sterling, but I think at this moment in time, at 9 what's the price of Son? 9.5, is it? Yeah, at 9.5 million, I think Son is a steal this season with the amount of points he has, with the way he's playing. To be honest with you, Brian, keep Sterling, but try to get Son for somebody else. Rahul says, retiring for the day, Wiz. Alright, Rahul, thank you so much for coming on the stream. I really appreciate it. Ali says, you think Aston Villa defender is unnecessary to get? My friend, that's a pretty catch-22 kind of question. Unnecessary to get. But to be honest with you, Ali, I think one Aston Villa defender is good. I think Aston Villa is a good defensive team, and I think they're going to keep clean sheets in their coming fixtures up until game week 15. Their fixtures look really, really good, right? So even if they conceded 3 against Leeds, but Leeds are a very difficult team to play against, right? Aston Villa is not going to come up against such teams every week. So one defender is good. Audo says, is it worth the 0.5 to go for Kufal over Cresswell? I think Cresswell is fine, my friend, because I think both are good options. Cresswell is on free kicks. He sometimes takes corners as well. So I'm not even sure how much is Kufal and how much is Cresswell. Wait, let me check for you. I'm sorry. I should come prepared with such. Oh, so Cresswell is more expensive than Kufal. Of course, he should be as well. So to be honest with you, I think if you have the money, my friend, I think Cresswell is a better option. Although Kufal is pressing up, he's making those runs up and down the flank, and he can get some assists. But I think Cresswell has better options to get more points. So yeah. Rahul says, great work with the live streams. Thank you so much, my friend. Have fun and take it easy. Technically speaking, drop Rodriguez to upgrade Mope. To be honest with you, my friend, I think it is not a good time to drop Rodriguez if we have a news in midweek, right? Because he still has a yellow flag, Rodriguez. If you kind of have a news that Rodriguez is not fit and he's not going to be able to play, then possibly. But if Rodriguez is fit, I think there is no reason to kind of drop James Rodriguez. Absolutely not for this game. Because to be honest with you, I think James Rodriguez, is going to if he starts, he can get points against anybody. And Mope, I know you have a problem with Mope, and if you look at these fixtures as well, Newcastle, Fulham, Leeds, Burnley, I mean, why would you sell James for these fixtures, especially when Everton were playing in such a good form? And although they lost that last game, right, but you see they're still top of the league and still playing pretty well. So yeah, in my opinion, I would not sell James Rodriguez. Yeah, if you want to update Mope, you can possibly go for somebody. I mean, I don't want to say Bamford, to be honest with you, but Bamford seems like a good option, and I'm never shy to admit a mistake, and I have been making mistake thinking about Bamford and saying that but we can only go on what we saw last season, and what we saw last season was him getting lots of big chances and him spurning lots of big chances. This season he's taking his big chances, so why not? The only thing is we don't only have to upgrade, you can even downgrade to somebody like Bamford. So yeah, that's my opinion technically. Adrian says, Justin, what's your transfer plans, if any? My transfer plan, my friend, is I don't have any pressing transfer needs in this team. I think my team is pretty well settled, looks good, and I have 1.1 million in the bank. So if I want, I could move on Havertz to somebody like Zaha, who I don't like at all. And I don't think he's going to sustain his form, and I'm going to keep saying this, and he's going to keep punishing me 9, 8, 15, 13, but I just don't feel this is sustainable from Zaha, right? So I can move to somebody like Zaha, or I could move to somebody like Rashford, but most probably I'm going to do this move if Rodriguez is fit. This is the only thing. I'm going to wait until the last moment, and if we know that Rodriguez is fit, this is going to be my move. Otherwise, I might roll a transfer, and I might play Havertz against Burnley. Not a problem for me. I think that's going to be fine as well. Yash says, I got 54 points this week, but the most annoying part, I had Walker, Peters and Dallas on the bench. I mean, this was a very strange game week, my friend. Who expected Southampton to keep a clean sheet and, beat Everton the way they did? It was crazy. But to be honest with you, I had Walker, Peters on the bench as well. Sometimes you can't do much about these things, Yash. So no issues. Sometimes these things happen. You made the right decision. I had Walker, Peters on the bench as well. So don't worry, you have good players. That's a good thing. Shlendra says, hi Wiz. Hey Shlendra, welcome my friend. Subro says, Adams to Bamford, your suggestions. Subro, to be honest with you, why would you transfer Che Adams? I mean, look at what he's doing. He scored against Chelsea, scored against Everton. Look at the teams. Chelsea is a difficult team. Everton is a very difficult team, and he scored 8 points against them. And he has decent fixtures. Aston Villa, Newcastle, Wolves. Okay, it's difficult, but Manchester United, Brighton, Sheffield. I think I would keep Che Adams unless he blanks for a couple of game weeks. I think there's no pressing need to transfer out Che Adams. If you feel that your team looks good and you don't have any other pressing issues, you might move to Bamford, because if you want to get in Bamford, then you do it, right? In my opinion, for my team, I possibly keep Che Adams. I don't know. Maybe I'll move to. Maybe I can during the week make a decision and move to Bamford. But for now, I think Che Adams is a good keep. Pucaro says, what do you think of doubling Size and Kilman this game week? To be honest with you, my friend, I think Crystal Palace is in a decent form. Attacking wise, maybe not so much, right? But if you have Size and Kilman, yes, you can double up on them, but don't transfer in Kilman to double up. If you already have those two, yes, it would be a good idea to double up. But if you don't have them and you have to transfer one of them in, then don't do it. Yash says, I went for Trent Alexander-Kilman, Konsa, which didn't go well this week. To be honest with you, that was a good decision, my friend. Even I took a hit. I transferred out Ramsdale for Martinez. I was expecting Aston Villa to be better than they were actually against Leeds. They were rocking. The Leeds put them under so much pressure. They were making mistakes. They couldn't control the midfield. It didn't look like the same team which actually beat the champions a couple of weeks back. Very different team. And to be honest with you, Leeds put you under such pressure. They press and they put you under pressure and they run for the entire 90 minutes. Bielsa trains them like an army general, and it shows, to be honest, the way they play, right? So in my opinion, this week, guys, I think in general this season, doubling up on defenses doesn't seem like a better or a good plan, right? And yes, says Leeds Aston Villa was very surprising, and top of that, clean sheet was surprising. Yeah, but to be honest with you, if Jack Grealish would have scored that goal, it would have been different. Even if like Ollie Watkins was in such a good position, but Jack Grealish was selfish. He went for the shot. Although as an FPL manager, that's a good thing, right? That you want your players to be selfish, take shots. But if he had passed to Ollie Watkins, I think Watkins would have scored that goal. And even Grealish made a fantastic run, and then he couldn't end it with the goal. But I think Leeds were lucky to keep a clean sheet in that game. Ollie Watkins had a fantastic chance right at the death and he couldn't score. Auto says, how long do you think I should give Brewster? To be honest with you, my friend, I think Brewster has very, very difficult fixtures. I mean, if you look at Sheffield United, thank God I don't have any Sheffield United players in my team and I have to kind of check their fixtures from the transfers. Look at this fixture: Chelsea, Manchester City and Chelsea. Even West Ham is difficult. So, if you have Brewster, 4.5 million attacker who kind of plays, I wouldn't be too kind of pressed to transfer him out. Just keep him for the easy games, my friend. Don't play him in these difficult games. I don't think he's going to give you too much joy if you play them in these games. Mike says, not FPL related, but who do you think will win the league? I know it's very early. What do you think about the season so far? To be honest with you, Mike, this season is like a gravitational anomaly, right? It's just nobody knows what's going to happen. Who expected Aston Villa to beat Liverpool the way they did? But I think Liverpool looks strong, and if they kind of can get Joel Matip and Fabinho and Gomez fit and they keep Alisson fit, I think Liverpool has the best chance. Outside of that, I think again I would like to say Manchester City, but they don't look like challenging. They are dropping too many points at this at the start of the season this time. So in my opinion, Liverpool looks to be the favorites to win. Difficult to say, but yeah. Yash says, Ollie Watkins was in my team. I felt that selfishness from Grealish. Yeah, he was too selfish, but as an FPL manager, you don't want the player to be selfish when you own the other player who he was supposed to pass to. But if you own Grealish, you would love him to be selfish, right? So yeah. Farik says, Jimenez rarely score goals. Who should I go for? Watkins? I think if you have Jimenez, my friend, I think I would keep him for 3 more game weeks and then transfer him out. Jimenez is taking over. I mean, he scored 8 points last week. He scored 9 points this week. Why would you transfer him out if you have him? Don't move him on until you have a pressing need in your team for funds, or you actually, you want some better player. I mean, I don't think Jimenez to Watkins is a desirable move for this game week. Jared says Manchester City Torres played well up front in Champions League. Do you think he'll be viable for some starts in the league now? I think that Pep doesn't trust Ferran Torres too much that he's going to start him in the league. I think he's going to kind of either play Foden false 9 or Sterling false 9, and Ferran Torres might get some minutes from the bench, but I don't think that he's a viable FPL option in my opinion. Raja says, who's the best captain this week? Raja, I actually at the start of the stream I actually gave a long talk about my opinion looking at the fixtures, but I'll just give it to you in short. I think there are some decent options, Kane and Son being the best because their fixture is the best, and other than that, Salah can be good, Sterling can be a good option, and that's what I feel that this game week can give you. Other than that, I just don't feel that. Manchester, Arsenal play against each other. Chelsea are playing away to Burnley. You never know what's going to happen in that game. So Liverpool playing at home to West Ham United. So Salah possibly. And Everton are playing Newcastle away. So I wouldn't captain a player in that game. If Richarlison was fit, then we could think about captaining one of their players. But without Richarlison, they lack that dynamism in the final third. So not. So yeah, Harry Kane, Son, Salah, or Sterling. Yeah, that would be my options. Hang on guys, let me have a drink of water please. By the way, if you haven't liked the stream, please do hit like. Yash says Salah is an evergreen captain, to be honest. Yeah, that's true. I think Salah is a decent captain option, especially when Liverpool are playing at home. It doesn't matter who are they playing against. You can captain Salah always at home. Would you invest in 5 midfield players above 7 million or 3 forwards above 8 million, assuming cheap defense? To be honest with you, I was never a fan of having 5 midfielders, 5 playing midfielders. The thing is, it makes your team very, very rigid, right? if you have 3 forwards and you have if you have 4 midfielders and 1 cheap midfielder and cheap defenders, it gives you more viability or more flexibility in your team. 5 defenders above 7 million, I think your entire budget will be spread out so much that you won't be able to, if you want to get a player, you'll always have to take a hit. If you want to get an expensive player, you'll always have to take a hit. So that is not a viable strategy in FPL, in my opinion, my friend. So yeah, that's what I think about that. 3 forwards above 8 million, possibly not. 2 of them above 8 million and 1 cheap forward is the way to go, in my opinion. Yash says Salah is an evergreen captain. Yeah, of course I answer that. Shlender says, I'm sorry for being late, Wiz. I'm watching from the beginning. Thank you so much, my friend. If you considered me worthy that you were watching the entire stream, I really appreciate that. Yash says midfield is the play this season, bro. Yes, midfield is the play, and I agree with that, my friend. But 5 midfielders above 7 million, I can't. I just don't like the idea of that, my friend. I agree that midfield is the play. You get players like Grealish, you get players like James Rodriguez, you get players like maybe Barclay, and even John McGinn, all these guys, and even Podence was a good option. Everybody got him in, right? He hasn't been banging, but there are such good options in the cheap category as well. So yeah, you can kind of get the balance. Trossard, Trossard is a decent option as well. So yeah. Saint Maxim is a good choice for 5.3. I mean, he's decent, he doesn't perform every game, but when he does, he probably does a double-digit score. So yeah, it can be a good option as well. So yeah, so I never said that midfield is not a good option. I just said that 5 midfielders above 7 million is too much. Your team will be too unbalanced, in my opinion. Anyway, so moving on. So guys, for game week 7, my team looks pretty well set, and let's have a look at pick team. There you go. So in my opinion, the team looks pretty settled, and I think the only player I would possibly think about transferring out this game week, if I wanted to, I mean, I want to get rid of Podence, but he's not the pressing issue in my team. I wanted a couple of game weeks back, I was thinking to get rid of Adams, but since he's been doing too well, I'd possibly end up sticking with Adams. So the only pressing issue I have in my team is Podence and Havertz. Not a pressing issue, to be honest, but the players that I possibly want to get rid of, right? And who do I want to get in my team? I actually want to get James Rodriguez, and I can only get him in place of Havertz because Podence is 5.5 and I have 1.1 in the bank. So, and other than that, I think my team is settled. Even if I don't make any transfer this game week, I think my team should be good for an average score this game week. Yash says McCarthy and Leeds keeper is what I'm going for, 4.5 plus 4.5. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I think McCarthy has kept 3 clean sheets in the past few game weeks, so I think that's pretty good. And Leeds keeper. So basically what you're doing, Yash, is you're getting 2 playing keepers, right? And as I always say, you're giving yourself an extra decision to make every week. Every week you're gonna have to think, should I play him? Should I play Meslier, whatever his name is. I'm sorry guys, I'm not too good with pronunciations. So should I play Meslier or should I play McCarthy? So what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna always, every game week, you're giving yourself an additional decision to make. So I always tend to keep my team simple. I don't wanna overcomplicate things. So I always go with one keeper. Even if you wanna go with one good keeper, an expensive keeper, I think that's better than going with two keepers and then every game week deciding. And then what happens is, when the keeper on your bench gets more points, it affects your decision for the next week, and next week the other one gets more points. It's just too much trouble, my friend. So that's my opinion, but you make your own decisions, my friend. Yeah. So yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about my team and how they did past game week, and then possibly take a couple of more questions, and then we can move on, right? So yeah, I brought in Martinez for a hit, guys, and I was lucky to get 3 points from him. It was really crazy game, and but I still feel that Martinez was the better choice because Southampton home, Brighton, West Ham, oh, that's a difficult one. Newcastle, Burnley, West Brom. Too many good games for Martinez, and I think by game week 15, I will have used my wildcard. So even if I have my wildcard until game week 15, after when the fixtures of Martinez turned, right? I would use my wildcard somewhere around this time, and that would be absolutely fine. I can transfer him out if I want to. So that was a good transfer looking at the upcoming games. Ailing did well. I didn't expect a clean sheet, to be honest with you, and he was playing at centre back for all I care, but he got a clean sheet, so I was pretty happy with that. I got Roman Saiz in for a hit in place of Ben Davies. Ben Davies started the game week, and I know the rationale of Jose Mourinho basically. What was the rationale? He thinks that Burnley is a physical team, they're gonna put like long balls, and he needs somebody who's good with defending. I think Ben Davies is a better defender than Sergio Reguilon. Reguilon is a better attacking defender than Ben Davies. So against teams like Brighton, Reguilon plays. Against teams like Burnley, Davies plays. That's the rationale of Jose Mourinho. So I'm still happy that I took out Ben Davies. Saiz gave me 7 points, 1 bonus. Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's a headache, to be honest with you. 7.5 million defender, not scoring enough points at all. But I just don't want to transfer him out because I don't want to waste a transfer to change him to Robertson or whatever. So I'll keep him until I wildcard, because I have enough money and I have no pressing need for the funds. Havertz could have had something in this game. I mean, was a very difficult or very kind of, a game which was kind of, played at the midfield. Not too many chances for either teams. Actually, Manchester United had a couple of decent chances, but Rashford couldn't take them. Havertz was fine. Every game week he's fine. He's not outstanding or excellent, but he's doing fine. Salah, many people captained him. I'm so happy I didn't, because he could have had a haul, to be honest. He scored a goal. It was called offside. Then he hit the post at the end. So he was there. The game was there for a big haul for Salah. It just didn't work out. Son, I feel, was the luckiest. Anybody who captained Son was the luckiest this game week. Even the owners were lucky. I never expect Heung-min Son to score a header from a corner, and he was lucky and he got all 3 bonus points. Unfortunately, Kane didn't get any bonus points. In fact, I felt Kane played a really good game. He made a goal line clearance, he did so much stuff, but since he's a forward, he doesn't get too many BPS for things like that. Podence, what can you say about him, guys? Ever since I've brought him in, he's got 3 and 3 points. He looks that he's going to bang every game week. He has chances, and then he gets subbed off at 70, 64, 67. I never think he's going to get enough minutes because, there's the choice between him, Pedro Neto, and Adama Traore, right? So one of them has to go out of the team. So I think they start with 2 of them, and after 60 to 70 minutes, they're going to sub them on. So maybe I'm going to move on Podence in the next couple of game weeks, Adams did pretty well. I'm so happy with how he did and how he's doing generally. So he's justifying his XG. Next couple of fixtures look fine on paper. If he doesn't do well, I can move him on. Not the most pressing thing for a 5.8 million player anyway. Calvert-Lewin blanked in only 1 game week, not going anywhere from my team anyway. Kane, he was my captain for this game week, and I feel he is one of the best captaincy options for game week 7 as well. He has a really good record against Burnley. Let me read it out for you so that you know what is his record against Burnley. I actually posted on Twitter a few days back, and so he has against Brighton. So basically he has started 6 games against Brighton, and he has scored 4 goals. That's a pretty decent record for me, in my opinion, right? So Mike says, I think the Havertz move would be worth it, especially when Lampard doesn't. Mike says, yes, I think Havertz's move would be worth it, especially when Lampard doesn't really know what system to play and where to play the players. Havertz should be playing number 10, but he actually plays too deep. Yeah, that's true, my friend. I think there's a problem with Chelsea. They've bought too many players and they don't know how to play them or where to play them. They don't know how to play them and where to play them, right? So hey Peter, welcome to the live stream. Guys, can you hear me, or I think my connection is having a little bit of a problem. Please just let me know if you can hear me properly so I can continue. Just write in the comments, and I think my internet is acting up again. Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much for your comments. So basically, Mike says Havertz's move makes sense because Chelsea doesn't know what system they're playing, and I agree with that, to be honest with you. But Havertz has been taking over a little bit. I mean, he hasn't been doing too well, but he has been taking over, right? So, 5, 6, 7, decent enough return, but for an 8.4 million player, is it too less? Yes. I could have gone with Son. Son was 9 million at the start of the season. Havertz was 8.5. There wasn't too much difference between them. I could have gone for Havertz as well, for Son as well. But yeah, I'm probably gonna move him on. So Yash says 9 million is the budget. Should we keep for a keeper? In my opinion, 9 million is the maximum that you should spend on a keeper. Yep. For 2 keepers. Auto says, do you have any plans with Son and Kane when the fixtures turn? Yes, I think I'm going to move one of them on, my friend. I don't think in the difficult games, unless I see that Spurs are going to win those games, or they're going to do something in that game, I possibly going to move one of them on. Yash says, is stream laggy for anyone? I think the stream is acting up a little. It may be my internet, or I'm not sure what's happening here. Hey Jonathan, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Halim says, Ben Mee is back. Do you think buying Burnley defenders is good? I mean, Burnley defenders are cheap, right? They're almost 4.5 million to 5 million, especially Charlie Taylor and, people like that. I think we can buy them. There isn't a big problem with buying people like Charlie Taylor because, Burnley is going to keep clean sheets. They kept 15 clean sheets last season for all we care. So in my opinion, I think you can go with Burnley defenders. Peter says the stream seems to have a 2-minute delay. To be honest with you, Peter, I can see the loading thing going on in the screen. So in my opinion as well, there's some problem with the stream. It might be the YouTube servers, or it could be my internet. Who knows? So much. Excuse me. So much for having an optical fiber connection, guys. That does really well, but this world of internet that we live in, sometimes these things happen. Anyways, so guys, if you have any questions, let's have them. Stream is already around 50 minutes in, so I'll take a couple of more questions, and then we can possibly end the stream. So if you have any pressing questions, any dilemmas, I'm gonna do one more stream before the deadline, so that might be the deadline stream as well. So I'm gonna be here answering your questions. But if you have any questions right now, you have any dilemmas, let me know. So Peter says, is Mitrovic a hold? To be honest with you, Peter, I would hold this game week. Mitrovic plays against West Bromwich Albion, and I mean, if we can't hold Mitrovic in this game week, which game week can we hold Mitrovic in, right? So in my opinion, you hold Mitrovic this game week, and if he doesn't do well, then yeah, you can sell him. So yeah, West Bromwich Albion at home. After that, you sell him, and yeah. So that's my opinion about Mitrovic. Hang on, let me have a drink of water, please. Peter says best Mahrez replacements. That's a tricky one, right? So let's have a look. How much is Mahrez? Riyad Mahrez 8.5, right? Let's see. Mahrez is 8.4 right now. So that'll how much do you have in the bank, my friend? I mean, if you have something. So basically, I was gonna do a like for like replacement for Mahrez. There are some options, not the best by any stretch of imagination, but let's have a look for you. So basically, James Rodriguez is on my radar to replace Kai Havertz as well. So James Rodriguez is one option in my opinion. You can go for somebody like Jack Grealish as well. Phil Foden seems to be a better option because he's He's cheap and he's, scoring points. 9, 6, 6. Even if he doesn't start, he has a chance to come on and score. So I like the look of Phil Foden more than I do Mahrez this season. Jack Grealish could be an option, but he hasn't done much since the Liverpool game, but definitely he could be an option as well. So you got 2 million in the bank. So basically these are the same options that you're gonna get anyway. So I think James Rodriguez, Jack Grealish. To be honest with you, if you want, you can consider somebody like Jared Bowen as well. After the Liverpool game, look at their fixtures: Fulham, Sheffield, Aston Villa. Manchester one is difficult, but Leeds, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Southampton. Guys, look at West Ham fixtures. This is crazy. Till game week 20, they've got like only 2 red bars. Although I don't trust the FDR of FPL, but this season it seems pretty accurate, and they're updating it as we go along, and they're changing it properly. So I think West Ham, you can go for Jared Bowen as well. You can keep Mahrez for 1 game week, and then you can go for somebody like Jared Bowen as well. Farik says, is Barkley an option? Yeah, I think Barkley can be a good option, right? It depends on. I just want to see who is on penalties for Aston Villa before we can categorically make a statement about Barkley. But in my opinion, I think Barkley is a decent option. I just like the look of John McGinn more than I like Barkley. I just feel that John McGinn has a goal in him, and he has even this season he's scored like a couple of 10-pointers. So I think John McGinn is a decent option as well. Basically, so that would be it. Mike says Antonio is a good replacement for Mope. I think yes, Antonio is an amazing option from a West Ham team who are playing really well, and they've gone through those tough fixtures and come out with decent points, right? And now they go on a fantastic run from game week 8. So what you can do is you can get Antonio for this game week if you want, but against Liverpool it would be hard. But Liverpool don't have Van Dijk anymore. I can see Antonio bullying Joe Gomez easily, and he can even bully somebody like Joel Matip. Although I think Joel Matip is a really good defender, and if Joel Matip plays, then and like Jurgen Klopp tells us that Joel Matip is fit, then maybe I'll wait for Antonio until next game week. But if Joel Matip is not fit and Antonio has to play against Joe Gomez and Reece Williams, that would be like dreamland. Then you get Antonio. Peter says, I really hate Matip. You might not like him, my friend, but it doesn't take it away from the fact that he's a really good defender. I think he's a fantastic defender, and he has been good for. Oh, rate Matip, he says. Apologize. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I read it as hate. So you said you really rate Matip, and I agree with that. I think when Matip played with Van Dijk, Liverpool defense was the most solid, even more than when Van Dijk played with Gomez. I think Van Dijk had to carry Gomez a little bit when Matip and Van Dijk played alongside, and both of them took responsibility, and Van Dijk was much more comfortable. So yeah, I think if Joel Matip plays, you wait. If Joel Matip is injured and Jurgen Klopp says he doesn't play, then you get Antonio. Aleem says, I'm puzzled between going with Leicester or Leeds in defense this game week. To be honest with you, my friend, I think this is a difficult one. But if you have somebody like Castan, then I would go with him. And Leeds defenders are 4.5 million. You can always go with the Leeds defender in any game, right? And if Vardy is not fit to start, then I think Leeds could be good for a clean sheet as well. But I think in that game, there's going to be goals for both sides, and there's not going to be any clean sheet. So you can go with any of them. Not going to be a problem, in my opinion. Audu says, I need someone that rotates well with Lamptey. Leicester is a perfect fit for that, but Castan is too expensive. What do you think the best option is? I think other than Castan, I think none of the defenders is... I don't like any of the other defenders. Maybe Justin, somebody will say Justin, but I don't think Justin is that good of an option. Yes, he's keeping a clean sheet against Arsenal. He kept a clean sheet as well, and he giving good points over the season. But I think, Castan is the best Leicester defender. I mean, if you have to have a Leicester defender other than Castan, then yes, Justin is the option. Because I wouldn't go with Fofana or Evans, or I think not worth it. So yeah, if not Castan, then Justin. But in my opinion, Justin will not be a good option in the coming weeks, because Pereira comes back and Castan moves to the left, and Justin goes out of the team. Morgan says, "Can I send my team and you recommend the transfers?" Yeah, sure, Morgan. You can give me a team, and I can give you my opinion, my friend. Yeah, sure, no problem with that. Will you keep Size? He has a fixture swing, and his place seems threatened. To be honest with you, Peter, I brought in Size only just last week, right? I brought him in until this game. I keep him until Southampton home, and then I move him on. Definitely going to I knew he had 3 home games, right? So he kept 1 clean sheet for me against Newcastle, although it was a very lucky clean sheet because he got subbed off at 67 minutes and then Wolves conceded the goal at the end. But still, he gave me 7 points. I'm happy with that. So against Crystal Palace and Southampton, I play him, and I don't feel that his place is in too much danger. I don't think Markal justified anything to kind of come on and that he's supposed to replace Size, and Kilman didn't do anything wrong in order for him to kind of lose his place to Markal. So I think he'll stay. Rohit says, "Hey Wiz, how's it going? Thoughts on Ross Barkley? I'm thinking of bringing him in for next week for Podence." Rohit, I think, I'm fine, my friend. I think Ross Barkley is a decent option, and Aston Villa have decent fixtures as well. So yes, you can go with Ross Barkley if you want to. I mean, you can. I keep saying on the streams, guys, if you want, you can even consider somebody like John McGinn. I think he's an equally good option to Barkley, and he's cheaper than Barkley. So yeah, Barkley is good. John McGinn is also good for the price that he is. Auru says, "Do you know when Pereira is back?" Well, Auru, last couple of weeks we saw some pictures of him in like training and stuff. So not gonna be long now. I think he's gonna be back after game week 8, maybe in game week 9. But I don't have a specific date to it. But I think he could be back in game week 9, right? So yeah. So in my opinion, I think FPL managers are too much concerned about size, rotation, and stuff. In my opinion, I think Nuno actually rates Size. I think he's going to play him in most of the games anyway. And I just want him to play him in 2 home games against Southampton and Crystal Palace, and then I'm gonna get rid of him. Apart from Leeds wing backs, do you have any Size replacements in mind? To be honest with you, I've got Chilwell in mind, Peter, and I think that's the defender I'm going to move in for as soon as I move out Size. The only player that I have in my mind is either Castan or Ben Chilwell, and I'm pretty clear on my defensive targets. If I want to go for a cheap option, I'm possibly going for somebody like Tariq Lamptey, but since Brighton are not keeping too many clean sheets, I'm shying away from him a little bit, and I'd like to get Chilwell or Castan. I think when Leicester fixtures turn, Castan is a really amazing option as soon as he keeps a clean sheet. And he's going to get bonus points because he's attacking as well, and against small teams he can be fantastic with Vardy. When Vardy is fit and Castan is playing, it can be amazing. So yeah, Chilwell and Castan are on my mind, definitely. Other than that, not so much. I don't like Manchester City defenders, Liverpool defenders, United defenders. Arsenal defenders can be good this season, guys. Alright, don't think that I'm saying this that I'm an Arsenal fan, right? But the way Arsenal are playing such boring, bogus, sideways passing football, I think Arsenal defenders can be a good option. Somebody like Hector Bellerin can be a very, very good option. The game in which they keep a clean sheet, Hector Bellerin can get an attacking return, and it could be on for a double-digit score over the season. I think Bellerin can be a good option. I'm sorry if you feel that I'm going too far with Arsenal, but yeah, I think that could be it. Morgan says Martinez, Chilwell, Robertson, Semedo, Konsa, Son, Salah, Rodriguez, Grealish, Kane, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So that's basically a 4-4-2, right? Ben says he has Meslier, Dallas, Brewster, Bissouma. 2 free transfers. Thinking Robo out for Cresswell. Morgan, I think you have a fantastic team, my friend. First of all, I would like to say that. And second, I'd like to say that I wouldn't transfer out Robertson for Cresswell. At least not for this game week. Why would you get Cresswell against Liverpool, right? It's better to play Robertson against West Ham United, and next week maybe you move him on. So if you want to make one transfer and if you have some money in the bank, you can possibly get somebody like you can update your midfielders like Bissouma to Jorginho, but I feel your team is really good. You don't need to make any transfers. Audu said Ziyech scored his first goal for Chelsea. So congratulations to all the Chelsea fans. Hakim Ziyech has scored his first goal, and we hope that's good for the future Chelsea FPL assets as well. So whenever he starts playing, I think he adds a different dimension of passing and dribbling to their team. So that's good for FPL as well. Peter says, shall I transfer Mane to Son this week? And I have Salah. That's very difficult, Peter. I mean, if you have both Salah and Mane, I think your team would become too unbalanced. Although whichever one of them you transfer out, there's always a chance that the other one will bang, right? So if you transfer out Mane, so Mane can bang, and if I tell you to transfer out Salah, then Salah can bang. But the good thing, what I saw yesterday in the Champions League game, guys, this is important for all the Salah owners to note. Milner was on the pitch and Salah took the penalty. So basically, Salah is now the #1 penalty taker for Liverpool, even when James Milner is playing. And that's important because that gives Salah another dimension to get points, and that makes him more desirable as an asset than Mane. Although Mane is more explosive at the moment, but yeah. So yeah, I think Peter, you need Son in your team. But remember, after a couple of game weeks, his fixtures swing, right? So that is something you want to keep in mind. And if you want to keep him for the long term, then get Son. But if you want to keep him for these fixtures, right? Manchester City home, Chelsea away, Arsenal home. I mean, they've got really difficult fixtures. So if you want, you can get Son for these two games. If you want to get Son for these 2 game weeks, you can go for it. But at least keep these future fixtures in mind. This is really difficult run of games. City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. I mean, that's really tough. So yeah. I already have Kane, no Son, so basically it's Son or Mane. To be honest with you, I mean, if you don't have any other pressing problems in your team, you can actually move to Son for a couple of game weeks, and you can move on back to Mane if you want. Or, let's see what other options crop up. And yeah, I think having Son against Brighton, I think it's good. And who else? Brighton and West Brom. I think having Son for these 2 fixtures is a good idea. Not a problem. Definitely not. And anyways, next week Liverpool play against Manchester City. So yeah, why not? Why not, my friend? You can do it. If you don't, if this is the problem in your team, then your team is really good, my friend. So my friend Nick says, I have Watkins or Wilson for long term. In my opinion, Nick, I think for long term, Wilson seems to be the better options. I think he'll give you a consistent string of points. Watkins, yeah, he scored a hat-trick against Liverpool, but that game was in itself an anomaly, right? He looks good, Watkins, don't get me wrong. Against small teams, he might score a few, but a clinical striker should put away that chance that Watkins had against Leeds at the end of the game. The way he missed that chance, I just kind of put me off Watkins. I was even thinking to get Watkins for my team, but the way he missed that chance just put me off a little bit of Watkins. So yeah. And anyways, I've got the Che Adams in my team. Why would I want to transfer him out? He's doing so well now, right? Unfortunately, I was gonna transfer him out after game week 4, but then I had other problems in my team, so I kept Che Adams, and that was a good decision, guys. So sometimes it's not about making good decisions. Sometimes it's about luck as well. And as I always say, guys, this game involves a fair bit of luck as well. I mean, if you say that you win an FPL season only on the basis of skill, it cannot be done, guys. Come on, you have to have some sort of luck, along the way. You have a lot of, bad luck as well. So good luck is a part of the game as well. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's about that. So I guess we don't have any more questions since I don't see any in the chat. I guess we've been streaming over 1 hour, and I I'm sorry, actually, I wanted to do this stream after the match against after the last match of the game week, Tottenham versus Burnley, but it was too late, guys. So what I'm thinking about doing with Aftermath is I'm thinking that we should just shift the Aftermath stream to Sunday so that we can just stream on Sunday. Even if we have a game left on Monday, we can just cover the remaining games, and we can just talk about all the games, and we can have a fixed time for the show on Sunday every week. The same time I come here, I do this show, and I think that would be better so that everybody knows when the stream is going to happen, rather than me waiting for the game to get over, and it's sometimes too late for me, and so that just like a show on every Sunday we have a show at a particular time, and you guys already know what time the show is gonna be, so there's not gonna be an uncertainty, and you can always come and talk to me about FPL. Yeah, so that's something Oru says that would be great, and I also feel that that would be a good idea for all the subscribers, so that they know how to and when to come to the channel. Anas says Bamford for Mitrovic and Zaha for Podence for a hit. For this game week, I wouldn't do it, Anas. I think Mitrovic plays against West Bromwich Albion, and if you can't, I think you should keep him against West Bromwich Albion, my friend. Zaha for Podence, I would say if you wanted to, you can do it, but I think Podence has a decent fixture as well. They play against each other, right? So I would keep Podence and Mitrovic for one more game week and then do it. Alazar says, hi Wiz, hey Alazar. You're pretty late, my friend. Actually, I was about to wrap up the stream, but if you have any doubts, my friend, just let me know. Anas says, thanks, man. You're welcome, Anas. Please make your own decision. I gave you my opinion. That was my honest opinion, but please do not make your decisions only based on my opinion. Sometimes they can go wrong. I always say, guys, this game involves a great deal of luck as well. That was my opinion, so yeah. So Alazar, if you have any question, please let me know so that I can answer it, and then we can call it a day. By the way, guys, what's happening in Champions League? Let me see the score, and I'll update you guys. And what's going on? Oh my god, Chelsea scored 4 goals against Krasnodar. Hudson Odoi, Timo Werner took a penalty, Jorginho took a penalty and he missed, and then Timo Werner took a penalty. I'm not even sure if Jorginho was on the field when he took the penalty, because Jorginho is still the number 1 penalty taker for Chelsea. I guess he was not, so that's good. So Timo Werner is the number 2 penalty taker. Christian Pulisic scored a goal, Hakim Ziyech scored a goal. That's good for all the Chelsea fans. From an EPL point of view, nothing much happened in it. So that's only 2 games going on. PSG is winning 2-0. That's Moise Kean, guys. In Everton, he was shit. I mean, Duncan Ferguson was so bad. I mean, when Duncan Ferguson was their manager, he actually brought Moise Kean on, and then he took him off after 5 minutes. That was so bad with Moise Kean. And now, since he's gone to PSG, Moise Kean is scoring goals left, right, and center. It's crazy. Alazar says Trent Alexander-Arnold to Dallas and Foden to Rashford for a hit. Not for this game week, Alazar. I wouldn't do it, my friend. I would keep Foden and Trent Alexander-Arnold for this game week. That would be my opinion. Anas says switch from Trent Alexander-Arnold to Chilwell. What do you suggest, as Chilwell is getting attacking return that is more forward on the pitch? Yes, if you want to, you can do it. But this game week, is it the ideal game week to do it? I'm not so sure, because Chelsea has a difficult game against Burnley away, and it's not going to be the easiest. But if you have a free transfer and you think Trent Alexander-Arnold is not worth it, then yes, you can move him on, because Trent is not. If you want to move on Trent Alexander-Arnold, I don't want to move him on, because I want to keep him in my team even if he doesn't return. I think eventually he's going to start performing. So if you want to move Trent Alexander-Arnold on for Chilwell, that could be a decent move for this game week, my friend. Jonathan says, I have 2 free transfers and 1.5 million in the bank. I feel like my team doesn't need any changes. That's fantastic, Jonathan. Waste your transfers. Let them burn. No problem. I always say when I watch that movie Karate Kid, and I'm not sure if you've seen that or not, the one with Jaden Smith, in that movie there's a scene in which there's a snake standing and a lady standing in front of the snake, And Jaden Smith looks at that and lady and he says to Jackie Chan, he says she's doing nothing. And he says there's a lot of difference between doing nothing and staying still, Chaudhry. So that means, doing nothing, that means, you're actually basically doing nothing. But staying still, that means you make a conscious decision to kind of not make your transfers, holding your nerve. That is the essence of FPL, my friends. I'm sorry if you haven't seen the movie and I make too many references, but yeah, that's kind of the essence. If you don't feel you need to make a transfer, don't make it. If you feel you need to waste a transfer, waste it, Jonathan. But Jonathan, send me your team on DM and Twitter, and I'll have a look at it. I'll have a closer look at it. All right, guys. I think we come to the end of the stream. Anna says, "Thanks, man. I appreciate it." You're welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for being on the stream. So, guys, if you haven't subscribed, I hope you subscribe and like the stream as well. I thank you so much for being here, and I'll do one more stream. Of course, that's gonna be my deadline stream. So 1 hour before the deadline on Friday night, I'm gonna be here with you answering your questions. So if you didn't manage to attend the stream today, or if I missed any of your questions, I hope you'll be there on Friday at night and talking FPL. I'll answer your questions, and you can see my final team, you can see my captain, and you can see the transfers. You can see the transfers that I make for my team. So thank you so much, guys, for coming to the live stream. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you all take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon on my next deadline stream. Till then, guys, take care. Bye bye. FPL Visit signing out. See you.